What's up, everybody? So I'm back again to get the bad taste of the Jake Paul Tank Davis fight out of my mouth. I wanted to just run down the UFC schedule coming up, and we are in for a treat. We're gonna have basically fights every Saturday for the next 6 weeks in a row, which is fight fan dream, especially for me. As much as I love mixed martial arts and UFC. And then we'll get some good boxing fights sprinkled in there too as well. But I already covered the Fight Night Perth, which is this weekend. And then next week we have Ankalaev versus Pereira at UFC 320, which I already covered too. And then I was right. I was right about the Rio being after this one. And I don't know why I thought the Makachev de la Madalena was sooner than it is. It's not down until November. But we have Ankalaev, Pereira next week. And then October 11th, we have the UFC Fight Night Rio. And I'm looking at the card, and man, this is actually going to be a very, very solid card. You have the main event, Charles Oliveira versus new opponent, Mateus Gamrot. Gamrot is ranked number 8. Charlie Olive's number 4. It is it's not short, last minute, but it is kind of short notice for Mateus Gamrot. But I'm going to give the lean to Charles Oliveira in the main event. I think he'll find a way to get a finish. You know, if he gets, Mateus Gamrot has good wrestling, but if he gets to the ground, I'm pretty sure Oliveira will find a way to find his way to a submission. So I'll go Charles Oliveira in that fight. The co-main event, Davison Figueiredo versus Montel Jackson. Montel Jackson's actually coming up. He's ranked number 15. He's coming off a win versus Daniel Marcos, which he got by unanimous decision. And then he's coming off 3-0 in his last 3. Not big names that you'd notice, but he's surging right now. He's number 15. Davison's ranked number 6. Last time we saw Davison in Brazil, it didn't work out for him. Brandon Moreno finished him to regain the title in their 4th fight. So, was it the 4th one or 5th one? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it was the 4th one. But I'll give Davison the nod on that one. He's in hometown, so I think Davison should get it done. Then you have Gabriel Bonfim versus Rude Boy Randy Brown. Bonfim is ranked number 14. Randy Brown's 2-1 in his last 3. Bonfim is he's 3-0 on his last 3. He just come off that win against Wonderboy Thompson, which a lot of people thought that Stephen Thompson got robbed. I thought he got robbed. I thought Wonderboy did enough to win that fight, but Bonfim got the nod. It's going to be interesting. I really like Randy Brown. I really do like Rude Boy. Depending how the betting lines come out, he'll probably be the underdog, but that'd be a safe bet if you're looking to bet. I think Randy Brown, he's good, man. He just gets in his own way sometimes. He makes little mistakes, but I think if the odds come out where he's the underdog, I'd put money on Rude Boy Randy Brown. Next one is Jonathan Diniz versus Mario Pinto. Jonathan Diniz looked really good. I'd go with him. And then the first fight to start the main card, Vicente Luque versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. I think this fight is going to be the one that steals the main card. Both these guys are coming off 1 and 2 in their last 3, and I think Ponzinibbio is never or rarely in a boring fight, and they're fighting close to home. Ponzinibbio is from Argentina, which is right there next to Brazil, and Luque is grew up in Brazil, but I believe his dad is Chilean. His mother is Brazilian. So it's a hometown fight for him, and it's as close as the hometown as Ponzinibbio is going to get without it being in Argentina. So that's going to be a banger of a fight. If I had to lean one way, I'd go Vicente Luque. I think he's just better on the ground. But if it stays standing up, I think Ponzinibbio has a really good chance to squeak out the victory. And that's UFC Fight Night in Rio on the 11th. And then the week after that, we have October 18th, De Ridder versus Arnold Allen. The original matchup was supposed to be De Ridder versus Fluffy Hernandez. Flipper Hernandez pulls out, I believe, 2 weeks ago for injury. Brendan Allen is ranked number 11. DeRitter is ranked number 4. I think DeRitter should get the job done on this one. But the co-main event, my boy, fighting out of Fort Worth, ranked number 15, Kevin Holland, the Trailblazer. He's got a good fight versus Mike Malott. They're in Canada for this event. I believe Vancouver, BC. Mike Malott looks really good, man. He had a big win his last time out versus Ratchke. KO, vicious KO in the second round. And then he beat Giles. And he lost to Magny. I believe it was his debut in the UFC. But he's surging, man. He's a really good guy. But if anybody's going to put him to the test, it's going to be Kevin Holland. I'm going to go with my boy Kevin Holland in this one. And then the feature fight, Marlon Vera versus Iman Zahabi. That's going to be a good fight. Iman Zahabi just came off his win against, was it Aldo? Yeah, Jose Aldo, which, man, he got hurt bad in that fight. Aldo started surging back late in the third round. But Zahabi did enough to win those rounds. He got hurt and then came back and finished the rest of that round, which I believe got him the victory. It was unanimous decision, but it was 2-1 on all three judges' scorecards. And I believe if he didn't find his way back into that last third round, he would have got the loss. So tip your hat to Zahabi. He found a way to come back and weather the storm in the third round from Jose Aldo, who was trying to get the finish, gassed himself out. Zahabi gets the win. He's ranked number 9. Chito's ranked number 7. Chito's been out for a while. I'm not sure if it was injuries or what. I believe he was supposed to come back and then it got rescheduled, or his original opponent had pulled out a while back. But his last 2 fights haven't been looking that great. I mean, he lost to Figgy, which I thought he should have won. I wanted him to win, I should say. But Figgy just shut him down. Like, in the skill department, he just found a way to get Chito down every time. And then he actually rocked him in the third round, which I thought if anybody was going to rock anyone, it was going to be Chito rocking Figgy. But Figgy showed that he's a dog, and he got the win. And then, of course, he had the one-sided loss to Sean O'Malley when Sean O'Malley was still the champ before he ran into Marab. And then before that, it was a Pedro Munoz win. But hopefully Chito finds his way back this time. Hopefully he had a good camp. I want to see Chito win. You know, he's always fun to watch. And then the last fight I'm going to cover on that card is the Mano Fior versus Jasmine Jasdavicius. Mano coming off her loss to Valentina Shevchenko. It wasn't so one-sided like everybody thought. She had her moments in that fight. I thought she hung in there with the best girl in the world, which is Valentina. But Jasmine Jasdavicius is a dog right now. She's coming off the big submission win over Jessica Andrade. This should be a good fight. Mano is still ranked number 2. Jasmine is ranked number 6. So that's going to be a pretty good scrap. And then the week after that, October 25th, we have the big UFC 321 in Abu Dhabi, of course, for the heavyweight title. Tommy Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. I think I've spoke on that already. Tom Aspinall, I believe, has all the tools to beat Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane's good on his feet. He's got good power. His grappling is getting better, but Tom Aspinall is a legit black belt on the ground. We haven't got to see it because he knocks everyone out in the first round. But I think Tom Aspinall wants to prove a point that he is the heavyweight champion. You know, he picked up the full title. He was the interim champ, but he picked up the full title after John Jones stepped away and retired, and made him the full-fledged heavyweight champion of the world. But he needs to prove it, and he needs to put a stamp on it because, for the love of God, if Cyril Gane finds a way to win, X is going to be blown up with nothing but John Jones tweets. I mean, he is going to just... We'll never hear the end of it, and I'm sure he's already got just paragraphs of shit talking stacked up in his notes, ready to get fired off during that fight and after that fight. So please, Tom Aspinall, I need you to get this win and solidify the heavyweight division and bring some balance to it, because until this fight actually happens, there's still going to be people saying, who's this, who's that, what's what, you know, and everybody's going to be saying he didn't beat John for the title, but, you know, John retired. I know he's back, and he's back in the pool, but he retired, and he relinquished his belt. So, for the love of God, I need Tom Aspinall to bring some balance back to the heavyweight division. And then the co-main on that fight on this card is going to be really good. Virna Jandiroba, she's ranked #1 in the strawweight division. She's coming off 3 wins, and she's fighting Mackenzie Dern, who's ranked #15. It's going to be an all-Brazil war for the vacant title. It's vacant because Zhang Wei Li vacated her title to move up to fight Valentina Shevchenko, I believe, at the Madison Square Garden card. I think, if I'm not wrong, it's the co-main event for Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev. This is going to be a very interesting fight because they are both legit black belts in jiu-jitsu. Jandiroba looked really good. I believe she's like 3-0 in her last 3 since she's gotten to the UFC. Yeah, she's got a unanimous decision over Lupe Godinez, submission victory over Amanda Lemos, and then she just beat Zhang Shonan, the Chinese girl, by unanimous decision too. She's really good. She's tough, but her striking is not that great. It's pretty fundamental, and we've seen Mackenzie Dern just keep getting better, keep getting better. Her boxing is getting better. She's not afraid to throw kicks because she doesn't have to worry about getting taken down. If it goes to the ground, that's where she lives. But with 2 black belts, I think the jiu-jitsu is going to cancel each other out. And if it stays on the feet, the longer it stays on the feet, I think the more confidence Mackenzie Dern is going to get and build in that fight. And I can see her hurting Jandiroba and then possibly getting a submission in the mid rounds, because it is going to be a 5-round fight for the title. So that's a very interesting fight for me. The feature fight, Alexander Volkov versus Gelton Almeida. Volkov's #2. Almeida's ranked #5. Volkov's fought the better competition. He's been in there with some of the best guys in the world. He's coming off a loss, disputed loss versus Cyril Gane, who's getting the next shot at the title against Tommy Aspinall. A lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, thought he should have won that fight versus Cyril Gane. I was one of them, but that's why you don't let it go to the judges' scorecard. You never know what can happen. But I think Volkov should get this win against Gelton Almeida pretty easily. I won't say pretty easily. I just say that because he's got a higher rank and he's fought the better guys. Almeida's good, but he's coming off a win against Spivak. He's fought Spivak, Romanov, and Curtis Blades, and he got beat by Curtis Blades. He beat Romanov, and he beat Spivak by KO in the first round. So he is explosive, but I think Volkov has all the tools to beat him. I'd lean Volkov. And then the first card on the main event, this is going to be an interesting one. And I'm pretty shocked that they put it that far down on the main card. It's going to be Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Bautista. Mario Bautista fighting out of Winnemucca, Nevada. Shout out to my friends Aaron and Buck out of Winnemucca over there. What's up, guys? But he's coming off 3 wins in a row. Mario Bautista. His last fight, Patchy Mix. He welcomed him to the UFC coming over from PFL. The fight before that was a very, very close fight against the great Jose Aldo. And then before that, he beat Ricky Simon, which is, he's a good fighter. But Mario Bautista, he's just one of those guys where he just puts his head down and gets to work and he grinds people out. He's going the long route. This is going to be a good test for Umar as well. Umar coming off his loss against Merab. Umar has only had 3 fights in the UFC. And his record is 18-1. He's got 2 wins by knockout, 7 wins by submission, 5 first-round finishes. But since he's been in the UFC, he's gone the distance in all 3 fights. The first fight was a 3-rounder. He went the distance, got the unanimous decision. The second fight was against Corey Sandhagen. They went all 5 rounds. He got a unanimous decision. And the last fight was 5 rounds against Merab. And, of course, he got beat by unanimous decision. He faded in the later rounds. He won the first 2 rounds against Merab. I believe those might be the only 2 rounds that Merab's given up. He's usually in control. But Umar faded, and Merab does what Merab does, and he just roared back and got the decision, retains his title. But that's going to be a very interesting fight. I like Mario. In that fight, he has all the tools to beat and stifle what Umar does good. But, man, Umar's a Nurmagomedov, so you can never count them out. That's just the main card for the Aspinall fight. That's going to be in Abu Dhabi, so it's going to be an early morning fight card for us. The main card starts at 1 p.m. Central Time, Central Time. which is great. I love early day fights. The next week after that, November 1st, is Garcia versus Unama. I'm not going to go over that because there's only like 3 guys that they have on the card as of right now that stick out to me. And then the big event, UFC 322 at Madison Square Garden. Jack Della Maddalena, the reigning defending welterweight champ, takes on Islam Makhachev. Coming up, vacates his title at 155. Man, this is going to be a good fight, man. They haven't put out the odds for any of these cards yet. I'd really want to see what the odd makers think about this fight. Of course, Islam is number 2 pound for pound, right behind Ilya. But Jack Della Maddalena, man, what he did to Bilal Muhammad to win the title, he looked spectacular. Granted, though, Bilal didn't fight the fight that I thought he should have fought, and which I'm sure many people that watched that fight believe that he didn't get to his wrestling early enough. I don't even think he started wrestling till the late 4th round, 5th round. And if you want to start wrestling, you got to start wrestling early. And to let a guy like Jake Della Maddalena get in his rhythm in the first 3 rounds, and then you want to start shooting takedowns late, it's going to be really hard to get him down. And then he scrambles so well. He punches like a horse, man. Like he hits hard, and he's got great boxing for the division. He probably has some of the best boxing in the welterweight division right now. This is going to be an interesting fight. I don't want to pick just yet because we have questions about Islam moving up. Yes, he's a big guy. He was really, really big for 155, but he's fighting a full-fledged welterweight, and Jack Della Maddalena is going to be interesting. You know, it's hard to bet against the Dagestanis, but Jack Della Maddalena has shown that he's not afraid to mix it up. He's not afraid to wrestle. He scrambles well, and he just finds a way to win. And he finds a way to win every time he's in there. So I'm not going to pick a winner for that one yet. I want to see how the betting odds come out and look at the lines, and then I'll decide from there. But that's going to be a great fight at Madison Square Garden. The co-main, like I mentioned earlier, Zhang Weili vacated her flyweight title, or her strawweight title. She's moving up to take on Valentina for her flyweight title. Champion versus champion, Valentina Shevchenko, the Bullet versus Zhang Weili. This is one fight where I don't know who to pick, because everything that Valentina does well, Zhang Weili does well as well. So this is going to be one of those where you just have to hold your breath and see who comes out with a better game plan. I like Valentina, but I really like Zhang Weili, and she's always been big for strawweight. So I think this might even improve her physicality. You know, Valentina is known for bullying girls, throwing them around, especially with the head and arm judo throws. But Zhang Weili is a dog, man. She is a dog. She proved it in the Joanna fights. And yeah, she's proven, man. I know she had the losses to Rose, but she completely redeemed herself, and she is the champion until that first bell rings, and then that's when she officially vacates her belt. Or no, she vacated it already because Jandiroba and Mackenzie Dern are going to be fighting for it, but they still have it billed champion as champion. And then the next fight down, which will be the last one on this card that I'm going to look over, the former welterweight champion, Leon Edwards, ranked number 4, takes on the fighting nerd Carlos Prates. He's ranked number 9. This is going to be a striker's delight. Both guys like to strike. Leon needs a win desperately. Carlos Prates coming off a big win. This is going to be a good fight. It's either going to go one of 2 ways. It's going to be really boring because guys are going to be sizing each other up, trying to find openings. It's going to probably stay at distance. Both guys are pretty long. Or someone's going to want to make a statement. I could see Carlos Prates being more willing to throw himself into the fire against Leon Edwards, but that's probably exactly what Leon wants. He's a good counter puncher, good counter striker. He'll be looking for the head kick. Bang! One shot, bang. But Carlos Prates is a tough customer, and Leon, I hope he's training hard and doesn't overlook Carlos Prates. This is a great fight, a great striking fight. It should be good. Yeah, man, there's It's going to be good, man. And then you have further down this card, actually, man, this whole card is huge. Kopylov versus RoboCop. Gregory Rodriguez should be a good fight. And then you have, so speaking of Striker's Delight, we have a Grappler's Delight here. Bo Nickel versus Rodolfo Vieira. Bo Nickel, of course, amazing wrestler. I believe he was Big Ten champ, All-American, versus Rodolfo Vieira, who's a multiple-time Jiu-Jitsu world champion. Man, we're going to see how this goes. Rodolfo is so big for 85. And that can be a detriment to him because he always gasses out late, man. That's what Fluffy did to him. Granted, Fluffy has an amazing gas tank, and he'll just gas anyone out. But this is a fight that I'm be looking forward to right here. Rodolfo Vieira versus Bo Nickel. Man, that should be a great grappling match. If they don't cancel each other out, then it's going to look like a real shitty boxing match, and I hope it doesn't. I hope both guys go to what they do best, and that's grappling, and don't try to just be a boxing match. But if it does go to the ground and they keep it on the ground, man, hold your breath because this is going to be an amazing grappling fest. And then the next fight down, this will be the last one I cover. Ann Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. Number 4 in Blanchfield, number 8 in Cortez. Blanchfield, of course, she just beat Rose Namajunas. And before that, she had the... unfortunately, she was about ready to walk out, and then she was supposed to fight Macy Barber. Macy Barber, I believe, suffered a seizure in the locker room before she walked out, so that fight actually got canceled as they were about to walk out. I believe it was a fight night card at the Apex. Unfortunate for her, but she did get another to run it back with a different opponent against the former world champion, Rose Namajunas, Thug Rose. She gets the win against Thug Rose. I believe it was unanimous decision. So that's a good win for her to have that scalp of a former world champion on her mantle. And she gets to fight Tracy Cortez. Tracy Cortez has been kind of up and down. I really like Tracy. She's a Mexican-American. She's coming off her big win against Araujo, which she dominated that fight. Almost had a few finishes in there. Before that, she had lost to Rose. And then before that, she beat Jasmine Jasovicius. I think the Rose fight, she let the nerves get to her. She was fighting okay, but it's a 5-round fight. I believe it was her first 5-rounder. Rose, as seasoned as she is, got the win. But that's going to be a good fight. Blanchfield versus Cortez, man. That's a great card. The UFC, I love it. Every year at Madison Square Garden, they stack the card, and it's no different this year. But that's the rundown for the next 6-7 weeks, because the fight night versus Garcia versus Onama is November 1st, and then we have a week in between. The Madison Square Garden UFC 322 is at November 15th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So out of the next 8 weeks, we have seven weekends with fights. So we are spoiled as fight fans. We get amazing fights every week for almost the next 2 months, and I'm looking forward to it. Great fights on the horizon. I can't wait, man. So there we are. There you have it. The rundown for the UFC schedule. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. See you on the next one. Peace.